Hello, welcome. Delighted that you're here. Each week you'll meet a lady who will be sharing her story with you, and the intention is that you will be entertained, motivated, and inspired to share yours. It's time for women to rise and stand in heart-centered leadership. Join with us and stay tuned. We don't disappoint. Cheers. Hello, and welcome to Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. I love the countdown. I am Joy Ruffin, your style and leadership coach, speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. Yes, it's a lot, but it's all aligned. Women hire me to amp up their wow factor. But let me share with you tonight. I am so excited to introduce you to our featured guest speaker here tonight. She is going to share with us a platform that she has fallen in love with. But before we even start there, I'm going to bring her up and have you meet her, and she's going to share with you why she loves this platform so much. But before we get going, again, welcome. Always good to see you here. You're always welcome here. I enjoy good company and those who are open to learning and sharing their knowledge and wisdom with others. That's the key. Can't hold on to anything. So thank you and welcome. I'm going to bring up our featured guest, Joyce. Joyce, welcome. So great to see you here.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's wonderful to be with you.
Well, you're no more excited than I am. And I just realized I didn't give them your last name, and I didn't give it to them because most everyone, I have a hard time with last names. But yours, I'm going to attempt. And if I mispronounce it, just correct me. I have no shame. It's Foystel. Close.
Close. Yes.
Say it. What was it?
Okay. Yeah. It's Joyce Foystel.
Foystel.
Foystel. And I've had this name since April 1st, 1972.
Woo-hoo.
50 years in just a couple of weeks, the same wonderful guy and the same tricky last name.
Whoa. That's another story, and we'll have to hear about that. But tonight, my friend, let me tell you why I just get excited. It's in my DNA. I love the title you gave me because this is so apropos right here and now. Finding your calling late in life. It's appealing to so many people, Joyce, especially because of this pandemic. So tell us, when did you discover, after you retired, after 17 years, if I'm correct, with a corporate position, find this love and this passion that you have for what you're doing now? Tell us about that.
Well, actually, when I found this calling, it was just a few years before I wrapped up that sales career. In fact, it was my manager, Brett Sandburn, when I worked in enrollment at a private college for financial planning, serving financial planners and wannabe financial planners all over the USA. And what happened is, in January of 2010, our college rolled out its social media for the first time. It hadn't had Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn until exactly or just over 12 years ago. Well, I was on the enrollment team 61 back then. Now I'm 73 and oldest by far. I remember him saying to us, okay, folks, I'm going to explain to you what social media is. I'm like, Brett, I know, but we had this PowerPoint, and he explained what we wanted us in enrollment to do was to chat up the social media. They even paid us, Joy, a little spiffy, you call it in sales, $5 for a Twitter follow or a Facebook like or join the LinkedIn group. That was added to our paycheck every month. And so month after month, I'd be the leader of this little incentive pack. Go figure. Never a sales leader. Finally, I got to be paid to talk about something different than what I was supposed to be talking about. That was so cool. So it turned out, since I was so good at getting our students engaged on our social media, my 35-year-old manager said to my 61-year-old self, he goes, Joyce, I've been thinking, since you're so good at getting our students engaged with our college's social media, have you ever thought of helping other people in your baby boomer generation understand social media like you do? And really, my manager gave me my calling with that question. It was Joyce. God channeled himself that day right through Brett.
Joyce, I have to tell you, you already know this, but you'll hear it from my voice. People love stories, and that was a good story. That's how you came to be the master, the influencer, the expert in this platform, on this platform that you're using, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah. And then you really, after you retired, you made yourself get deeper and deeper and deeper into the learning and the knowing of it, and decided that this was the one platform you were going to stick with. Am I right on that?
That is correct. It's my lead platform. I have a Facebook business page.
Yes.
I'm on Instagram nominally. I sort of have a Twitter account, but that's pretty much it. LinkedIn is my love. I trained to be a teacher, Joy. So for me, LinkedIn is like, I get to be a teacher every day on LinkedIn. It's so awesome.
You know what, Joyce? I have to tell you, I love the title of the group that you put together because it has that name Boomer in there. And most, or I might be assuming again, I do my homework, but sometimes things get a little, most of the people that you're working with, like me, they are people who are midlife, whatever terminology you want to use, second act, second chapter. They're dabbling into social media and they don't have the skills, and you're sharing with them the platform and how to utilize it and maximize it. Would that be correct? Is that how you came up with the name?
That is absolutely correct. I choose to use an age because I say 55 and up. No, that is not exactly. Boomers this year will all be, the youngest turns 58 years old because boomers were born between 1946 and 1964. But because the year keeps changing, I mean, not the year keeps changing, the youngest one keeps changing year by year. I think, 55 is a good, easy age to remember. So that's why I say 55 and up. So the older Xers, the older Gen Xers, the boomers, even beyond the boomers. But I would say the vast majority of who my clients are between 55 and like 75.
And Joyce, let me ask you, maybe having the answer, why, and why is not the right question. When people come to you to become more knowledgeable with this platform, and you said you dabble and you use and you understand them all, but your main focus is LinkedIn. What is it that they come to you for? What is it that they're asking you for?
I would say a couple things. One is they want to show up better.
Yes.
They realize that they have kind of a skeleton account. They have sort of just nominally there. And they see other people's LinkedIn profile that are really built out and very robust. And they're kind of jealous, like, especially if it's a competitor, right? And the other thing is they want to know what to do with it. Like, what, even my own daughter, who's 41 even, she goes, Mom, I really don't know what to say on LinkedIn. I'm like, honey, let's chat, So they want to know what to say. They want to know how to adjust their settings because we get way too many emails and all these little notifications, blah. And then how to search for people, how to engage with people, but not come across too pushy. So It's kind of, what's the culture here? How do things work? What's the protocols, if you want to call it that? So they want to get more involved with it. And of course, they want to generate business from it. But that often can be a bit of a longer process. It isn't going to happen just like that.
Well, I like the way you shared with us and explained to us why the majority of you come to you and what they come to you for, because most of us accept and embrace the knowing that LinkedIn is more of a professional, whatever that means to the individual, platform. So what is it about this platform that really appealed to you to master so that you could train others? What did this platform give you that you're now lovingly sharing with others?
Well, I'd like to start just very briefly back at the beginning. I got involved with LinkedIn when I got involved with the Toastmasters group on LinkedIn. So for me, initially, it was being with my people, with my tribe, my kindred spirits, and helping people from around the world with questions they had and vice versa. So that was my initial pull into LinkedIn. But then now what I really like about it is how I can stay in touch with the people who are part of my world or used to be part of my world. And it's so easy to do. I have a client, get this, in England, because she is really good friends with a woman who is a life coach. And who is this woman, that nose lady in England? Donna and I started the Madison Area Freelance Writers and Editors Association in the early 90s. I have not seen Donna since 1995. And we found each other on LinkedIn, and now she's referring me business. I mean, that's a great example.
That's a premier platinum example for this reason. And this is why most of us really love technology. We're no longer a small little tiny hamlet community. We are global. We are international. And as long as you keep the engagement and you keep in touch, we can connect with people all over the world. That's
Yep.
why the telephone company, as we knew it, as I knew it, is out of business more or less, because
Oh yeah.
it's a whole different ball game now. So I
Hmm.
get that. So what is it that you find with LinkedIn that's more acceptable, doable, embracing for those who come to you? Is it an easier platform to use? Is it a platform that offers more? What is it? A couple of things that the platform LinkedIn gives. And we're not knocking other platforms. I'm not about that
No.
at all. I don't bash others. But yet there's always a common denominator that's more prevalent with one. What would some of those be with LinkedIn?
Well, first off, I wouldn't say it's necessarily an easier platform. I will say that for sure.
Okay,
But the use of it actually is not that different from Facebook. But when I want to break it down first, the LinkedIn profile itself. There is
good.
so much you can talk about yourself within your profile compared to say like Instagram and Twitter especially, but even Facebook. You have a 2,600 character about section. That's like sort of like the about part of your website. That's a lot of real estate when you think about it. You have this thing called featured, where you can feature links to landing pages, links to YouTube's, link to your high performing posts. And it just gives a splash of color and you can jazz it up so you can change it. And those are just two things right there that you can do so much with.
Let me interject here and stop you
Yeah.
just for a minute, Joyce, because I'm enjoying the conversation and what you're sharing. But here's something that you shared that's really, for me, monumental and a pivotal check mark for LinkedIn. All of the platforms offer you different things, and I like what you said. You said it wouldn't necessarily say it's easy, but it can be more conducive contingent upon all the variables. But what you said is in the feature, you have all of this platform, this space where you can put all these different links connecting to this, that, and the other. Some of the other platforms don't enjoy or allow you to do that as much. And that's one of the things that I'm beginning to enjoy about LinkedIn. So thank you for
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
separation and how they acknowledge other links leading
Mhm.
to other platforms. Good.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, you could have a link like to your Facebook page if you wanted. In fact, in the contact us section, that's the part right below your background image, right below your personal profile. You
Mhm.
can have up to 3 URLs, 3 different, say, websites. If you run a meetup group, you could put a link there. If you have a Facebook business page, put a link to that. Whatever you want in there. If you're president of your Rotary Club, you could put that in there. So I think that, yes, it's very conducive to having, for example, say you're in your, we'll use Rotary, and you could
Yes.
even list that in your experience section. And then you could have links to, your Rotary's Facebook page, to your YouTube videos of events and service projects you're doing. So all sprinkled out throughout LinkedIn are opportunities to talk about your activities, and some of that may be happening in other platforms. Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. You know what, Joyce? You shared something with me that was paramount and it really resonated with me to the marrow of my bones because I'd heard it before and it kind of went over, boom, boom, out. But what you said is very, very powerful. Many of us, myself included, who are working online, whether we're techies or not, we need to understand and know all the different platforms that we're using. Not that we will utilize and do the work ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
speak to that a little bit because I had a hard lesson learning that you need to know and be more knowledgeable about whatever
Mm-hmm.
platform you're on. And I've had several people say that to me, including you. And I'm really saying with all the only way I can that it's a hard lesson to learn the platform and then get people to service it for you and take care of it. So how would you speak to that? How would you share information with people, especially the new people now with the pandemic who are coming on and working online for the first time? What would you say to them about
Well,
learning a platform?
I think you do need to understand the basics of LinkedIn, even if you're going to be having somebody post on your behalf. That's fine for people to do posting on your behalf, but you have to know what they're doing so you can supervise them. Here's another thing. If you have them do the commenting on the what other people say, so someone makes a comment, then you make a comment, people can sort of figure out that's maybe not really you. It's not your voice. I heard of somebody, they tried that. It was disastrous because they had actually just basically outsourced this role to another company and it did not work out. So I say you need to know what you're doing. Secondly, for things like people who want to connect with you, who's going to know that that person was a friend of yours in high school 25 years ago, or that was a friend from your last neighborhood you lived in? They don't know your life. They're not in your head. So you need to go on there at least once or twice a week, 5 to 10 minutes, just to take care of the people who want to connect with you, the anniversaries, the new jobs, because that's only you know your network.
And especially, Joyce, I'm sure you will say yes, especially if you're just starting out and building, one of my favorite words, building your tribe, your circle, your group. You
Yep.
want to do it yourself. And then after a while, you can do what the biggies do, the real influencers. You can get people to correspond back and forth. But initially, it has to be your assignment, or you're going to lose people because everyone is unique. And no matter how many similarities you have, there's a difference. And you're right, people can detect that, they can tell that. What do you love most about the work that you're doing on LinkedIn with all of the people, the boomers that I love that word, the boomers that you're working with? I know you love it all. And you started off by saying you're a teacher. I think we're all teachers in some ways, contingent upon all the variables. But what is it that excites you most about teaching and showing others how to utilize to the max LinkedIn?
Well, I'll just take something as simple as the profile headline.
Yes.
When I work with someone, I go from top to bottom. So first we talk about the background image, and we can do some brainstorming. Do you have a hobby? Do you want to put you in your kayak there? Do you want to have it be your company's logo? And then we get to your picture. And by the way, we got to talk about video cover stories briefly, at least that 30-second video you can do if you're bold. And I say, be bold and do it. And they just watch my 30-second one and they go like, oh my God, I wish I could do that. Like, you can do that. But the headline is really where the rubber hits the road. So I brainstorm with a person. We have 220 characters. Not do we have to use them all, but we talk about, okay, who's your audience? What do you do? What's your tagline? And so I help them reconfigure it. And then when we come out of the edit screen back to the main screen, their face just lights up. And I said, well, you could just write me the check now, just Venmo me the money now, because they're so happy. Just that one thing just makes them feel so good. That's really a highlight of every session.
I hear you, and I'm chuckling away because I've seen and I've witnessed and I know that. But let me tell you this. Here are two things I want to share with you as I take a quick little break. And when I come back, because on LinkedIn, it's somewhat new, those who are able to do the live videos and also the audio. I don't know if you're as up to speed with that, but that seems to be a new thing because Clubhouse just came in and rocked it with the audio. And now LinkedIn is taking part of that too. Let me take, Joyce, a quick little break to say hello and introduce people to what's coming up for me. And then I'll be right back and we'll talk more about video and audio, because video and audio both together or separate are powerful. So stay tuned. Oh, what can I say? She nailed it, because video people have been saying since the beginning of technology here and being able to utilize it. People want to see, hear, and all the other adjectives, you, and know who you are. But let me say this to you. I would love for you to connect with me on my Facebook business page and join me in my group, Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. This coming next Thursday, the 17th, every third Thursday of the month, we have a featured guest speaker. And my featured guest speaker this time, as they all are, is going to blow you away with her awareness and her knowledge about what she's doing. So I want you to make note, go to the Facebook business page, to the event, and sign up for that event. It's complimentary, free, you get in, but you'll gain a lot of new friends and make new connections and walk away with lots of powerful information. And the other thing I want to leave you with is this. If you are interested or want to look into and peek into and see what other platforms, software platforms are about, then look into my Soul software. It's awesome. You get a 14-day free trial, and it'll offer you a lot of options that very few do, if any. So that's your call, and it's complimentary because you have the 14 days to check it out, and I hope that you will. Now, I'm going to go back to Joyce, because Joyce, I really want to talk about what you ended us with, video. Video has always been powerful, and so many people, this is my thought, falling out of love or away from video because they feel they have to be 100% all the time. It isn't true, but especially now that we're working in the box. But you do have to have a video persona presence that fits you. But what is it about video and LinkedIn with the live videos that makes it more acceptable now?
Well, let's talk about two different kinds of video.
Good.
First off, there's the video that you create. You could a Zoom video, a YouTube video, or download your Zoom recording to the YouTube. That's your video, the video from your phone. So that type of video that anybody can use anytime on LinkedIn that they want to. And that's so important because that's really showing you your authentic self. Now let's segue into talking about LinkedIn Live. Now there's something called creator mode. And anybody can have it. It took a while for it to roll out. You're going to look under my resources, which is right under my analytics in your personal profile, and you switch it on. And when you enable content creator, you will have access to LinkedIn Live, much like Facebook Live, though you have to get approved. You have to apply through LinkedIn to do it. And then you also can do LinkedIn newsletters. But you have to be in creator mode to have access to these tools. So I want to make a distinction about that. Now, just for what it's worth, to play the devil's advocate for a minute, because there's a lot of other things to like about LinkedIn Live. You have these 5 hashtags. This is what Joyce writes about. But who's my audience? My audience are rookie users of LinkedIn, maybe intermediate. And the problem for me with content creator is when you have that on, when someone's not connected to you, they'll see follow. There's a follow button and it doesn't say connect. So I'm scared that those newbies will say, oh my gosh, I thought I could connect with Joyce, but now it says I have to follow her. And even if they find this little button that says connect, they'll say, no, Joyce wants you to follow her. You better really know Joyce to connect with her. So I'm like, no. I don't want my sweet people to be put off. So for me, and I may be exception to the rule, I have opted not to do content creator. But for many people watching this, I think it's a great idea to do it. So you can do LinkedIn Live like you're doing, Joy, and do LinkedIn newsletters. But I just want to use you as an example. Just because everybody else is raving about something doesn't mean you should jump on that bandwagon and do it.
That was a hard lesson for me, Joyce, because like many, I put the cart before the horse and I was jumping onto all of these shiny bubbles and bubbles, whatever. And I'm saying no. So I like the way you explain that. But share with me, I missed something about follow as opposed to connect with. What makes that not such a good thing? Because the people who are following you, I would assuming can be good as well as deadly, that you get that name of the person who's following, and then you can make your own engagement, your connection. So
well, that's true. Someone could follow me and I would be notified, and then I could reach out and connect with them. It does kind of sort out the riffraff, if you will, and have someone simply follow me. There's an advantage to that. But I mean, I might have someone not even follow me because they were disappointed. And they said, but I really wanted to connect with Joyce. I wanted her to see my stuff and I want to see her stuff too. I wanted to be like a Facebook friend, right? Where it's equal, not just like a Twitter follow, right? Or an Instagram follow. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that I think people could be put off by the word follow. Is my sense. Oh, she's some hoity-toity person, only wants followers, doesn't want to be connected to me. That's just, maybe I'm making this all up in my head. It's not true, but that's how I feel about it.
I love that you do. One should keep their opinions. Doesn't mean that everybody else has to embrace them, but keep it for you, because I see that totally different, but that's okay, because it's all contingent upon where you're at, what you're looking for. See, I see that as if they're following you, then you have the means and way to engage with them, to bring them aboard so that they will be a part of you or whatever. But that's another saga. I get what you're saying, though. It's so many variables are involved with something like that, but I hear you loud and clear. And audio is rather new, Joyce. Can you share any tidbits with us about that?
I'm glad you brought up audio. No, LinkedIn has embraced live audio. It's still, and I would say primarily, as far as I know, a beta stage.
Yes.
Not rolled out extensively. I know some people like Sandra Long, for example, who's written a book on LinkedIn. She's one of the people testing it. Others are testing it. So I think we'd have to, talk about that in a few months and see how it plays out.
I understand, because someone else
Mhm.
said to me it's really still in beta stage and they're kind of
Mhm.
navigating through it themselves. But you also mentioned in regards to the creator, content creator newsletters. What
Yeah.
is the tie-in and connection there? Is
Well,
to,
yeah.
depending on your content, how do you navigate in around and through that and make that work for you? We all
Well,
know about newsletters. Most of
right,
them
right.
people boom, boom, boom. What's
The
different
link,
about LinkedIn?
there's LinkedIn articles and there's LinkedIn posts. So posts are like a Facebook post, right? You know, you
Yes.
just put something up, bum ba dum ba dum, you have it. Now an article has a image, it has a headline, and then it's unlimited amount of characters. So it's really geared toward evergreen content. They aren't as popular, they don't get as many eyeballs, but the articles essentially have evolved into LinkedIn newsletters. Now you're publishing directly onto the LinkedIn platform, and you can invite people to subscribe to your newsletter through LinkedIn. So it has a lot of, again, advantages for that kind of visibility, getting the word out. So I really, hats off to you for creating LinkedIn newsletters. I think there's a lot to be said for them.
So if I heard you, I
Mhm.
think I might have missed something. Newsletters will be more beneficial to you in the end rather than articles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I think you're
Ah,
going to get more engagement. You're going to be able to, you can't really ask somebody to subscribe to your article, but you can ask somebody to subscribe to a LinkedIn newsletter. So it's really the article sort of on steroids, kind of. I mean, I think it's kind of is the article itself. Again, I don't have it, so I'm sort of embarrassed to try to describe it, but that's my understanding of it.
well, your
Mhm.
understanding, I'm embracing, I'm accepting that. I don't know where the time goes here, Joyce. I
Mhm.
have a wonderful agency that I work with, and they tell me, Joy, you're great, but you're much too long. You got to keep it short. So, and you and I together, we're deadly, but that's okay. That's good. Leave us with, I love everything that you shared with us. And this video is going to be good for you to take snippets and dice, slice, and splice it up and use it for you. But in the meantime, what words of wisdom, what gems, food for thought do you want to leave us with here tonight? Because this is going to be going everywhere so that people, I've been scrolling across all of your information, but any pearls of wisdom that you want to share, the stage is yours.
I would say two quick things. First off, comment on people's posts. Don't share them. Comment gives a lot more energy to the post. And really related to this is how do you find these posts? There's something called the activity section. So you go to your best clients, your best referral partners, your influencers, you go to their activity section and you scroll up, you click on see all activity, and then go up. You can look at their post. You can click on their all activity, whatever they've liked, they've commented on. And that's how you can find this treasure chest of so much amazing material. And the thing with LinkedIn, for better or for worse, everything is an open book, unless you really ratchet down your settings, which who does that? So, therefore, really be sure to go out there and engage with other people's material.
Good parting words. And thank you, Joyce. I tell you, this perennial student in me will kill me off or take me to the top, one or the other. I love learning, and you have given me lots of nuggets tonight. Thank
Great.
you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Put you in the green room. Stay if you can, and I'll be with you shortly.
You
Thank you,
bet.
thank you, thank you. I don't know what to say except to say it's always good when you're here. I hope that if you're listening and you're tuning in for the replay, that you will really partake of all of this knowledge that she's left us with. Joyce is phenomenal in every way, and it would behoove you not to connect with her and to follow her, even if it's not your time right now. And until we meet again, be safe, take care, wear the mask, do everything that you can to be safe for you so that you can be safe for others. As always, sending you much love and all the best. See you soon. Until we meet and connect again, all the best and cheers for now. Love you much. Bye-bye. Cheers.
You're so good.
Well, okay, leading ladies, leaving legacies, not ever goodbye. Why? Because it's our time. Join us as we move onward and upward in style. Connect with me on my website. I can't wait to meet you. Make it soon. Cheers.